back to the Presence of Being podcast. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of our community. Thank you so much for all the support I've been getting on these recordings, on the podcast. I say this in every single video because it really does mean the world to me. If you have any comments or any questions, any comments just generally about the podcast, I respond to all of my DMs. You can message me on Instagram at Presence of Being. You can join the community over there. Obviously, I post a lot of my content on TikTok, but you can also follow us, the community, on Twitter, and on Instagram is where like I said, I'm most active and where my main focus right now is on growing. Obviously, my intention is to grow the community on all platforms, but Instagram is where I spend most of my time, and also on YouTube, growing the podcast, just generally on Apple and Spotify as well. But like I say in pretty much all of my recordings, Instagram is where I am most active. So if you have any questions or comments, you can message me on Instagram. So in this recording, I want to talk about how when you are yourself and you are authentically true to you, the things that you need to help you get to the places that you want to get to will come to you. I truly believe in my heart of hearts, like deep down, that things that are meant for you will not pass you. And that when you are just being yourself in each moment, and when you strive, when your intention is to be yourself in each moment, the things that you need to help you get to the places that you want to get to will be presented to you. And you'll be aware enough to recognize them and then apply them to your life. And then that'll help you get to the places that you want to get to, or help you be more of yourself. In the day and age that we live in, I think it's very easy to just go searching for things externally and seeking things externally, thinking that the things that we get externally, the things that we're seeking externally, can provide ultimate happiness, ultimate fulfillment, and ultimate satisfaction, when in reality, the biggest source of satisfaction is going to come from you being you in each moment, and it comes from within you. The biggest source of happiness is going to come from within you. The biggest source of fulfillment is going to come from within you. Striving to be yourself in each moment, making your intention to be yourself in each moment, opens you up to being your best self, and everything, like I said, that is meant for you will not pass you when you're operating from that state. The things that you need to help you become the best version of yourself, the things that you need, the things that you want, will come to you when you are just you. And just to cover this in one example, if you take relationships, like people go seeking externally for their perfect person, and they may put on a mask and pretend to be someone they're not to attract someone that they may be interested in. But when you are just you unapologetically, you strive to be the most authentic version of you in each moment, the people that are meant to be in your life and people that are drawn to you because you're just yourself unapologetically, they'll come into your life, and they'll come into your life at the right time for you. I've said this before, but the people that come into your life in the season that you're currently in, I believe, are in your life for a specific reason. They're there to teach you something. They're there to help you return back to yourself, your true self, your most authentic self. So in romantic relationships, let's say, when you are just you, when you strive to be you in each moment, people are going to connect with you for you. And you won't have to go chasing somebody or seeking anything externally, because the right people will fall into your life or come into your life at the right time when you're just yourself. And when you're seeking and when you're chasing, what does that imply? It implies lack. You have to go chase something or seek something externally to make you, or to help you fill a certain void within. Now, this is just my perspective and how I view things, and I'm no expert when it comes to any of this, but when you are just yourself and you're open to life, things are going to come into your life that are meant for you and that resonate with you and the true version of you, the most authentic version of you. If you deep down think that you are not enough as you are right now, and you're searching for a certain result, like a relationship, let's say, or whatever it is, if you think that you're not enough, you're gonna go looking for it and seeking it externally. But chasing that result is never gonna really make you feel the way that you want to feel, because you're constantly just going to be searching, and nothing is ever gonna be enough. Nothing is ever going to feel like enough. When you seek that external satisfaction, when you go within and you are aware and you recognize your innate completeness and fullness and wholeness now in this moment, and you are yourself, that is where true satisfaction and fulfillment and happiness can come from, you just being you. And because you're open, because you're aware of the fact that you're full and complete now, you aren't chasing anything, you aren't seeking anything, that's when the right things come into your life, when you're operating from that state of being. In the day and age that we live in the world that we live in, people are conditioned to believe that until they get X, Y, or Z, until they get whatever it is they want externally, they can't feel fulfilled. They can't feel like enough. There's always something more you need to get, and that's ego. Going within and looking within and realizing that you're full and complete now in this moment, you're good in this moment, and you're yourself in this moment, and you strive, that's your intention, you strive to be yourself in each moment. The things that are for you can't miss you when you're operating from that state, because you're just yourself. And think about it, if you are just being yourself, what is meant for you, what is meant for yourself, it's in alignment. So it's just going to flow in effortlessly. If you're pretending to be someone else for whatever reason, if you feel like you have to chase something externally, or you're seeking whatever it is externally, think about it, like, how are the things that are meant for you, the most authentic version of you, supposed to come into your life if you're not being you, if you're not being yourself? If you are conditioned to think that you can't experience fulfillment and satisfaction until you get somewhere externally, think about where your focal point is mentally. Life is only experienced in the present moment. Each moment that goes by, if you are present, if your intention is to be present, you are experiencing everything that's going on around you. But if you're in your head all the time, constantly thinking, constantly wanting to get X, Y, or Z, and you feel like right now things aren't enough, you're missing out on your life, because life is unfolding in each moment, right here, right now. But if you're in your head constantly thinking, oh, I need to do this, oh, I need to get here, right now I don't feel like I'm enough, you're missing your life. You're constantly waiting to arrive at a certain destination. If you're conditioned to not be in the present moment and you're constantly waiting to arrive at a certain destination, even when you get to that destination, you're not going to be able to appreciate it. You won't be able to enjoy it because you're just conditioned to constantly look ahead. You want the next thing and the next thing. Nothing is ever going to feel like it is enough. If you're so conditioned to not be present, if it is a habit for you not to be present, when you finally get to the destinations that you want, you won't be able to enjoy it. Maybe for a moment, maybe for a week, but you'll constantly be wanting more. You'll constantly never feel like you're enough, and you're going to constantly try to fill this void that is within you. Eckhart Tolle says this all the time, but people are addicted to thinking, and people, for whatever reason, constantly think that the next moment is going to be worth more or is more valuable than this moment. And when you think that way, you miss out on life, because life only happens in the present moment. You become so addicted to thinking you're not yourself because you're not your thoughts. People identify themselves with their thoughts and with the chit-chatter that goes on in their mind 24/7, the chit-chatter that goes on in their brain 24/7, but that's not you. Meditation, for example, helps you become aware of the fact that you exist beyond thought, behind thought, in the background of thought. And when you can identify yourself with being, which is that background, that stillness, and you start to become aware of the fact that you are whole, full, and complete now, and not the thoughts that make you think that you are not enough, and you stop identifying with the thoughts that are like, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to achieve this, you got to get there, you got to do this. When you stop identifying yourself with that, and you start to become aware of the fact that you're whole, full, and complete now, and you tap into the background, the foundation, the being within you, and not the labels that society puts on you, you're yourself. And then the things that are meant for you can't pass you. The things that are meant for you, because you're just yourself, they'll come into your life, and they'll come into your life at the perfect time, when it's necessary for you to experience whatever is meant for you. And think about the level of confidence operating from that state of being, of wholeness and completeness, is going to, like, think about the level of confidence that you're going to get from that. When you're just yourself, you can walk confidently knowing that the things that are meant for you won't pass you. If I'm meant to do this, if I'm meant to be here, if I'm meant to meet this person, or if I'm meant to do whatever, it'll come into my life. If I'm just myself and I make my intention to be more of myself in each given moment, the things that are meant for me will not pass me. And you can get a lot of confidence from knowing that fact and from operating from that state of being, which comes about when you're you in this moment, when you tap back into the stillness within you. If there's one actionable thing I would recommend to do after listening to a recording like this, it would be to spend, if possible, less time on social media, or take inventory of the kind of people you are following, and make sure that if you get on social media and you feel like you lack something when you get off the app, maybe you should start following new people, or maybe you should just be spending less time on the app completely. And the reason for that is because it's very easy to compare yourself with other people, and it's very easy to compare what you have with what somebody else has. And that can make you feel not enough. That can make you feel like you don't have enough, or potentially not be yourself to try to get something that somebody else has that you think you want, but maybe deep down you don't even want. And this could cause a very toxic and negative cycle where you're just trying to take action from this place of not completeness and incompleteness, not feeling like you're worthy enough of the things that you truly want. Scrolling on social media and seeing what everyone else has and comparing what you don't have to what somebody else has can quite literally make you feel like you have to do something out of a state of incompleteness to try to get something that unconsciously, like, you don't even want what somebody else has, but you just feel like you have to get there to maybe prove somebody else wrong, or you have to get something that you don't really want that somebody else has because you want to look cool, because you want to look a certain way. Like, social media can make you think that way. It may not be something that you even want. You just want to impress somebody, you want to look cool, so you have to get there. And when you act out of that state, obviously you're not being yourself. You're not staying true to you. So like I said, if there's one actionable piece of advice that you can get from this, it would be meditate, which is literally the actionable advice in all of these recordings. Connect back with the stillness and being that is within you, your true you, your most authentic you. Disassociate from thought through meditation, through presence practices, but also spend less time on social media, because it is so easy to compare yourself with what other people have and what other people are doing while you're scrolling all the time. It's literally what social media is. Social media is a great way to connect with other people and share what you're doing from a place of authenticity, but it's very, very easy to get trapped into what other people are doing and spend all of your time comparing yourself, which isn't good. With this being said, social media can also be an incredible opportunity for you to learn, and for you also to, if you're spending the time, following people who motivate you, spending time following people who inspire you, if you're spending time following people who uplift you, then it could be great. But still, it's just about a balance and taking inventory of how you're spending your time on social media. So all this is to say, connect back to yourself. Connect back to who you really are at your core, which can be done through stillness and presence. And strive to be yourself in each moment. Make it your intention to be yourself in each moment, and know that you're full, whole, and complete now. When you're yourself, when you are genuinely just true to you, the things that are meant for you will not pass you. The things that are meant to be in your life, the people that are meant to be in your life, it will find you. They will find you, and they'll find you at the perfect time. You won't have to go chasing things. You won't have to go chasing people. You won't have to go seeking things externally. It'll come to you. It'll be drawn to you just because you are being you. You are being yourself. So I hope this message, this recording, has hopefully inspired or resonated with at least one person. Thank you very much for being a part of our community. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening. And like I said, if you have any comments or questions, you could DM me on Instagram. and I will see you in the next recording. Thank you for listening.